doing well. I really do. There's a lot going on, obviously. I don't even know where to begin. There's a lot of different things I want to talk about. There's a whole other channel that I'm waiting to figure out exactly how to approach it, but it is sitting there. And eventually that will be the only way you're going to be able to find me. But before that happens, I'll let you know for sure. There's a lot going on. Like I said, I'm going to jump right on in. Thank you guys for being here. I mean, nobody's even here yet, really. But for the people that, what's up, Shannon, Tab, appreciate you guys. But if you're watching this later or you come in late, truly, truly, truly glad you took the time to jump on over and see what's going on over in this neck of the woods. Oh my goodness. So I wanted to this is a whole video in itself, and it's not just about the Axine Vay. Um it's about the whole bird flu thing. Whatever it is it's trying to pull, it's always good to stay up on it, right? But I thought this was an interesting article. I only read a little bit of it. I'm gonna jump in though. CDC just killed another right wing COVID vaccine conspiracy theory. Well, that's good. Get rid of them all, right? Because we know that they're doing nothing except muddying the waters on what's real and what's not. We should only trust the FDA, the CDC, the World Health Organization, NIH, and the like. Those are the official sources. Those are the ones that came clamping down on everybody else, all the doctors that were saying anything outside of the official narrative, the doctors that were giving warnings saying, hey, wait a minute, maybe we should slow down, right? This has never been tested on humans before, and we're mandating this, or people will lose their livelihoods, not be able to feed their children, and God knows what follows, right? That's a scary proposition. Nobody wants to have to go through that. I'll just take a bunch of God knows what, nanoparticles, lipid particles, all sorts of wonderful things that I'm sure all of us want inside of our bodies, doing things that none of us really understand what it is that they're doing. What better way to solve a fictitious problem, right? I would think, I'm sure the government did as well. That's why Trump had his Operation Warp Speed. Oh yeah, no, Trump's the good guy. I'm sure he didn't want to do Operation Warp Speed. The swamp was making him do it. A new study out of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention dispels a popular coronavirus-related conspiracy theory that's been popular among right-wingers. That shit is so annoying. It's so irritating, and the reason because is so many people fall for it, right? The left and the right, and it's like they can just divvy us up on every single issue if they say, oh, this is what the right believes and this is what the left believes. Apparently, people don't have any thoughts of their own, because if their team is saying one thing, oh, that's what I'm saying too. No, I really believe that. No, I've always said that. Think for yourself. None of this shit is none of it coming out of the mainstream media or all of your influencers that you like watching. They're all controlled, and they're all spreading a specific message that they want, nay, need you to hear. For a while now, anti-vaxxers have pointed to highly publicized incidents of people, particularly young people, suffering cardiac arrest, and concluded that their conditions must have been caused by the COVID-19 mRNA vax. Several Fox News hosts, for example, tried to blame the vaccine for LeBron James Jr. suffering a cardiac arrest last summer, and prominent right-wing conspiracy theorists waged a similar disinformation campaign. They call it like campaigns, like these are organized, orchestrated things that would, like, all of the right just gets together and they're like, oh, we're gonna say no. And it's not even the right most of the time. It's people that think for themselves, that just so happen to believe in freedom, right? Because if you believe in freedom and a small government, they call you right wing. If you believe in conspiracy theorists, or if you believe in really anything other than what they tell you to believe, you're a conspiracy theorist, therefore you're on the right. It goes back and forth, and it's so divisive, and it's so effective. And at what point? Well, apparently never, because it doesn't even matter at this point whether or not we could have a grand awakening right this second, and every single person in the world can finally wake up and see what's going on. But the people with their fingers on the trigger and all that, the ones that are, you're gonna have a tough time. You're gonna have a tough time because the system's already in place. They've already set the board. The crazy conspiracy theorists that were shouting from the wake people up to, hey, wait, man, it's not going to be a good, get these scumbag, parasitic, demonic politicians out of their positions, because clearly they are working for billionaire globalists and their 2030 agenda. No, that's all conspiracy. And at the same time as that, they come out and admit and say, these are our goals. This is what we're trying to accomplish. That's fine, right? You can jump on the World Economic Forum or the United Nations own websites and see them saying the exact same thing that these so-called conspiracy theorists are saying is. What does it do? Nothing. They're right, you're wrong, you're saying the same thing, it doesn't matter. You're the conspiracy theorist. You're a right-wing extremist. The CDC conducted tests over multiple years that disprove a link between mRNA vaccines and cardiac arrest. No link. Disproved. Don't you worry about it. The reason that all of these, and so many of them, these young people are dropping dead due to cardiac-related illnesses has nothing to do with the mRNA jab. CDC told you. So let that go. Bygones are bygones. Right? And if this next one comes around and they're like, hey, we want you to take this, you should, because all of that shit that we thought was going on, that clearly looked like was happening with these people that, I don't know, played a couple quarters of a football game and healthy young lad drops dead. No preconditions, no comorbidities, no nothing, just dead. That's normal. That shit just happens. That happens all the time, always has. You don't remember? That's on you. Dr. Leslie Cooper, chair of the cardiology department at Mayo Clinic, told NBC News that the researchers behind the study went above and beyond to try to propagate as many people as possible to believing lies. That way the CDC can continue to be bought and paid for by Pfizer and Moderna and continue to capture as long as possible. No, I'm sorry, that's not what it says. Above and beyond to try and capture any possible cardiac death from jabs. They found none. Yeah, none. They didn't find any. Why are you kidding me, man? Two thumbs up. That's all right. If you don't mind, if you are here and the content doesn't suck beyond belief, hit the thumbs up. It'll help. Now, we know this story. I'm not going to waste too much time. Every so often they put out one of these, but I thought this one was a little extra, right? There's like, no, that's, we don't know what that is, but it's clearly not this, right? Like, couldn't, how the hell? Anyways, I'm going to jump on, man. This is, well, if it's in black and white, must be true. This is basically facing World War III, but Biden and company, they're not acting like. Sorry about that, guys. That's always going to happen, right? That's why I got that other channel on a separate computer, separate IP with separate emails, with my phone number not attached. We'll see. We'll see if that works or not. I won't hold my breath, that's for sure. I'm gonna skip this too. It's not. I mean, we all see what's going on. We've seen that this was gonna happen. It's only a matter of time. If you don't know by now that we are in the end times, you probably won't. I don't know. Like you're waiting for the rapture or something. Good luck. I hope you don't plan on you. What's up with the chat? Is that not working? Oh. What's up, Jen? Good to see you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you being here. Like I said, they're gonna keep pulling that garbage out where it's gonna buffer. They can't. What that is? It's kicking me off. So when you see that, it's not that there's a bad connection. It's that they kicked me off, and I got to rejoin my own stream. The connection's fine. I'm not using Wi-Fi or anything. I'm using my own data. And it's not even letting me see your guys. Can you guys throw a bunch of nonsense in the chat real quick just so I can see if it goes up? Because I think they're screwing with that as well, but maybe I'm wrong. This is a terrifying claim from a professor. Okay, cool. Speaking on a state-run television channel, sent to the Russian people in the alarming outburst on Russia, Russian political scientist Dmitry Esteviv insisted that it's now a foregone conclusion that Putin will unleash nuclear weapons upon Europe. What that means to me, before anything else, the first thing I would think of is that we would stage an attack. Matter of fact, I think that's precisely what will happen. And the reason I think April, when I was putting an owl taking a blood bath, long before the term bloodbath started coming in mix, talking about Trump and the way he used the term, there's good reason for it, right? And the reason that they started talking about bloodbath, and if you notice, go ahead and search it. It's not just about Trump now. They were putting that term in as many things as possible, but they practice magic, right? Actual magic. Solomon's magic, not fucking illusions and little tricks, sleight of hand, none of that. Real magic. And it's effective, it's worked, it's forbidden, unless, I don't know, if you value your soul, you can get demons to act on your behalf. You think you're gonna do that, and then once you leave this realm, everything's gonna be okay? You think you're not gonna be indebted? You may have dominion, and that's due to one individual, one being, one entity. You have dominion in this body on this planet at the moment for a specific reason. So you have dominion over these demons, over these spirits. And you can call them to do things. You can demand them if you know how to. But you're not here forever. And I don't know if that's a gamble that you really... Each to their own. I'd be more likely to think if there's any mass attack on the U.S. did it. For the last 20 years that I've been paying very, very close attention, I've been paying attention as long as I can remember, but I've been on it for at least 20 years, like dialed in. As far as I can tell, and others as well have said, good job. Good job. And they say that because if you know what's going on, you usually can tell what ultimately is the result of a certain number of instances and how that ultimately resolves. And I'm usually pretty good at saying this will result in that, that will result in this, and the like. So, Melissa, good to see you. Appreciate you joining. I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep it quick. But at the same time, I think it's important that people really do stop and take a couple of minutes and think about like everything that's been happening for years and years and years. Who is like clearly the most powerful country? It's not even the countries at this point, they're corporations, right? And they're owned by banksters. And the military of the United States is really the military of the central banking system. And it's whatever that they choose. And it's not even the banking system. It's the select few that sit at the helm of those banking institutions, as well as some corporations. But these are families, these are bloodlines that have been in the same type of power dynamic for thousands of years. But this time, they have a lot more toys to play with and a lot more souls to lay waste, to corrupt, to diminish, to make them theirs. Something that is divine is going to be lost for so many. Something that they have carried with them for eternity, essentially. We live in a time where that, due to people's choices and the way that they respond to things and their actions, really, is going to lay waste to a lot of them and their souls, unfortunately. I don't care what that sounds like, it doesn't matter to me at this point what you think about what I say. I have something that's why the other channel exists, is because I'm going to be concentrating more on that aspect of it. But I'm still going to say what I got to say, even on here. Welcome to Armageddon. Welcome to the apocalypse. Welcome to Revelations. Welcome to the tribulation. And there's no need for me to say I'm certain of it, but I am. If there was a way for me to convey, not that I'm 99.9% sure or 9.999%, I'm 100% sure. 100% sure. There cannot be a doubt for me personally. I try to convey such confidence in a way that somebody may see that and we're like, man, he's pretty serious. What does he know that I don't? Or maybe I should pay attention. Or if you know, you know. But that's what we're in, and that's what we're dealing with. And at this point, there's no turning back. There's no turning the ship. We are headed for that iceberg, and we are stomping on the throttle. Yep, Antichrist beast system, for sure. And we are just putting our foot through the door too. Like, we've seen some bad shit up until here, don't get me wrong, but you have not seen anything. And that's going to change pretty soon. I don't want to fearmonger. It's not the goal is to like scare. Well, you maybe you should be, right? Maybe people should be a little scared. Maybe if people were a little scared 10 years ago and actually listened to some of the shit instead of calling everybody, like people like myself, crazy conspiracy theorists, even though how many of those things that were said, hey, this is clearly on the horizon. Maybe we should spread the word and fight back and try to keep this from happening. No, that's ridiculous. Those people, I got my creature comfort, so I'm not worried about that. And for the most part, we're still there, right? People are waking up, whatever. And they're not really even waking up. They're waking up to fall into the next trap. That's what I keep seeing anyway. I keep seeing people that I thought, started having some type of realization. COVID slapped the shit out of them. And they're like, my God, I was so caught off guard. I was unaware that the government had this type of power, that they were so tyrannical, that they were willing to use all measures and any means necessary to get whatever it was that they wanted. Only to watch Tucker Carlson or Alex Jones or whoever to just siphon them right back into the right wing and pit them against the left, and then back and forth we go. And now, we got an election coming up. Can't wait to see how that plays out, right? You got your savior, Donald Trump. Now you got the four horsemen is what you got. And Trump. Trump, the last president. This shit pissed me off. Speaker Mike Johnson, which I tried saying from the very beginning, soon as he was selected, as soon as this charade was playing out, that this is exactly the type of things that we have to expect from him. So you have the government using illegal wiretapping, surveilling United States citizens, American citizens, regardless of their Fourth Amendment. Right? Unconstitutionality. The FISA courts should never have been allowed in the first place. Anybody with any sense other than tyrannical, power-hungry pieces of shit know this. And there's absolutely no reason. You're talking about Mike Johnson. He's a constitutional lawyer. If anybody knows the Constitution, it's Mike Johnson. So you can't give him that, right? There's not, no. He knows precisely what he's doing, and he is going back on everything that he has stood for because he had a meeting with the feds, right? They didn't blackmail him. They didn't he was chosen for this reason. They knew he would do the bidding. That's why they gave him the position. You don't get these positions. How many times do we have to see the same damn thing play out? Over and 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 over again. Oh, no, I thought, I'm going to vote for this guy. He seems to be, and the only people that still holds people's Like they still, because they come and go, right? Oh, I voted for him. I thought he was gonna. Never works out, right? They always sell you up the river every single time. It's never what you thought you were voting for, because they always lie to you. They'll say everything necessary to get you to vote for them. All you're doing is you're voting for evil. Then they get in, and lo and behold, they sell you out. This Christian nationalist decided that no, it's okay that the federal government continues to illegally spy on American citizens. Speaker Johnson's team briefed conservative influencers on his election bill before a Trump meeting. This is what I was talking about earlier when I was saying that it's pervasive and everywhere, and there's really no getting out of it unless you're on the ball, because most of the people that people like to watch and get their information from, they're captured as well, right? If they have hundreds of thousands or millions of followers, they didn't get there by being rebels. They didn't get there by going against the grain and standing up to the man. They did that by doing backdoor deals with very dark people, if you want to call them that, and doing whatever it is for that fame, right? For that money. They're no different than Hollywood. It's just a different flavor. Now, there are good ones out there. I'm not saying they're all bad. And yes, there are some with quite a few followers, but for 95% of it, maybe even 97, 98% of it, they're all controlled. And I don't see that changing. I don't see that. So buckle up. Get ready for the ride, because it's about to begin. It is beginning. It's begun. It just begun. The 8th. I mark that day as the beginning, because, well, it is, right? We had 7 years of a lead up to that day, 7 years more of tribulation, and then welcome. Now, for those that are... Never mind. What bugs me about these types of things, when you have all this going on and places that we have no real access to, and all we get is propaganda from one state or the other, we will not know. And I don't support Iran. I don't support, and I just want to know what the truth is. And Iran doesn't really have any reason to lie going forward right now. I mean, not to say that the fog of war isn't a real thing, and I'm sure that they will on certain things. But the U.S., my country, now the people of this country I absolutely love, but the government running this country are the worst of the worst of the worst. Absolute trash, scumbags, the worst of society. Some of the worst of society. I mean, if I go into like the ghetto and I get jumped and robbed, I was expecting that as a possibility, right? I'm entering dangerous territory. At least that aspect of it's real. With this charade, with this government, where they keep telling us, oh, that they're here to protect us, and they're upholding our constitutional rights, and this is the land of the free, and all of those things. Meanwhile, we're living in this invisible cage, and we are killing innocent lives all over the world. We're doing everything that we can to set up a system that will surveil and monitor every aspect of every person at all times. The U.S., the United States of America, has done more harm to this world as far as like at a spiritual level and as on a social level. It has done more harm than any other country ever. Now, that may not be evident right now because, well, somebody could make the argument, well, Nazi Germany, blah, blah, blah. Sure. But we just started. No, I lost. I guess I could. That's a interesting topic. There's a lot of controversy about that, about them. Some translational, but ultimately, we could make sense of it. Unless you want like 100% my, like me, I can tell you, like without the research and stuff, I could just give you what I think. And it's not what I think. What's up, Susie Cream Cheese? That's good. I'm glad. It's good to see people once in a while get notified that I'm still alive, still doing a thing or two. I cover these things to focus on the fact that it's getting real out there. Now, yes, we've had our run-ins with Iran. We've had our run-ins with all sorts of countries throughout the past, but never, ever this is the beginning of World War III. Guys, I've had... I don't know what to say here. I'm going to start, and I said this a while back, and I meant what I said when I said it. I'm going to start saying things as fact, with no backing. There's not going to be a mainstream or an alternative stream to support the claims I'm going to make. Time will tell. And it's not going to hold me back from saying what I need to say. Some things may sound kind of outlandish. They may be like, I don't know, man, that's kind of a stretch. Some things may be right on the money at the time. They may be like, yeah, I see that. Either way, maybe pay attention and take note. For instance, and I don't like doing this, but every once in a while it's good to remind anybody that may be new, because if you've been with me, then you know. And unfortunately, it's gone. I went to look for it for this reason, but it's gone. But somebody here may have seen the post I made, a community post, where it showed a cow. It was red and black, and all it said was April 22nd. Now, that was before they chose the date to sacrifice the red heifer. Now, how did I know it was going to be April 22nd? The same reason you should know, Christian. Oh, I haven't read this one yet. I read the title, and I hope this article does exactly what I think it's going to do, because all right, let me just preface this with a couple of things. Now, again, talking about the end times, talking about living in the times that we are in, that's a biblical reference, right? I'm literally pulling that out of the Bible. And the reason I'm doing it, well, one is because I know it is. But two, there's a lot of signs, right? There's a lot of things that are showing. I mean, it's hard to ignore the prophecies that are being fulfilled left and right. But set all that aside and just pay attention to like the media and what it is that they're choosing to do. And you can if you extrapolate out behaviors and social dynamics just a few years, 5, 10 years even, where does this lead? Where does the promotion of this type of behavior, where does the acceptance, the let's read it, see what happens, and then I'll come back to what it is I'm talking about. LGBT network gives youths a night to make noise against bullying, hate speech by smashing a wall. Youths are very impressionable. Now, these are LGBT. Now, what are they doing? What lesson are they teaching them here? Smashing a wall. Oh, you're angry. The society has condemned you. You are oppressed. Take it out. Smash this wall. Spray paint this. They're teaching them to be criminals. Now, this is just a small slice of that. But this whole LGBT, that whole movement, it has nothing to do whether you're gay or not. I don't give a shit about that. That's not what this is. Do whatever you want to do. You'll be judged however you be judged. I don't give a shit. Yeah, but it was the poster. Because I did make a video with that same picture with the red cow, but I'm talking about the posts. Because I still have. Anyway, it's a small slice of what's happening. This is an indoctrination effort, and it's not about turning people gay. It's not about turning people trans. It's about instilling in them a certain behavior that, oddly enough, goes right under the radar for almost 99% of the people. Have no idea. They're like, yeah, it's not cool. Just don't do it to my kids, you know? Don't teach my kids when they're going to school about this, and I'm cool. But that's not it either. Yeah, that's important, right? You want to keep that out of the school systems, but the reason that this is being crammed down our throats so much is because of the ideology. It's the mental illness. Not to say gay people have a mental illness. That is not at all what I am saying. I'm saying the agenda that they're pushing, they're trying to tie this in, and not only at the same time are they trying to make as many people gay, trans, etc. as possible. And it's not for, although it is a bit of, like the depopulation thing. Of course, that would go into a little bit of it, but no, it's more about the people. They need nihilists. They need people that are going to have so much hatred in their heart, that are willing to operate these camps, that are willing to do the very, very dark deeds that will need to be done for their movement, for their agenda to be completed. You need a certain type of mindset, and you're not going to get it from your everyday American. So you have to pull a group so far from the typical mindset and push them into a corner and tell them they're a victim and tell them that they're angry and tell them this is how you feel better. Jace Hunt, 11, of Bayshore, took his turn with a can of spray paint to write hateful speech or names he had been called on a cinder block wall Friday night. So, it's hateful speech. So they're literally, LGBT is saying, hey guys, you've been oppressed, you've been this, that, take it all out. Take it all out, write it all down, and then we're going to smash it. It is a symbolic, it's emblematic of the system that's oppressing them. And what is that? Well, they've been told it's everything. It's first and foremost, it's Christian nationalism, right? It's the right. This is what is, and think about this. If you're like, well, that's a very small minority. How many other flags do you see the capital of your country flying other than its own? Only one. I've only ever seen one. And that's the LGBT flag. And almost every single other country in the West is doing the exact same thing. So do they really, are they just in support, or is there something much bigger going on? And I think we all instinctively see that there is clearly something bigger to all of this other than just accepting people that have a different thing in the bedroom going on. Right? Because nobody cares about that shit. No, they've turned it into something else. And they turned it into something else so that they can get a group of young people which many do, and we all have and always have, go through school feeling outcast, feeling cast aside, feeling like our opinions don't matter as much as the others, feeling like if we only did this or we only had that, then we could fit in with them. That's normal. That's always been there. There's always been bullies, except now they have a different way of expressing that. Now they say, oh, well, it's, have you ever thought that you might be this? And then at that age, you tell a fucking horny young 10-year-old, 11-year-old that unfortunately this is true. Because of the level of hormones going through a young boy's body. And this is true in animals, like you see it anywhere, that homosexuality exists. And the reason is the need. It's to get the nut off, to be frank, right? Now you start poisoning someone's mind with things that maybe had it come across their mind on their own terms. Like they're watching, I don't know, they're at home and they see some dude kiss another dude and they get a Woody. They would be like, oh my God, what the hell? What is it? Why? I don't know. It's not because they're gay. It's because there's a sexual act taking place and their body understands sexual nature. And sexual nature automatically, biologically causes a response. That response to somebody who doesn't know anything about anything, they're going to, whoa, wait, oh my God, is this... Now, without anybody whispering in their ear or a television show telling them one thing, it's gone, right? And not only is it gone, but they're like, holy shit, I don't want to be that. But when you have Nickelodeon telling these kids that if that ever happened, oh, geez, you're attracted to boys, And again, it doesn't matter necessarily what it is on an individual level, what you're doing, but that's not the game. They want as many because they're directing the ship. They're controlling the direction in which all of this is going. And if they can get you to jump on board under their terms, then they've got you from the very beginning. And they can get you smashing walls, and then that leads up to maybe smashing something else, maybe smashing skulls in the end. And then they've achieved what it is that they set out to do. And they're working on it. They're not going to stop. And it's only going to get more severe. And the way that's, of course, they have to come cracking down on Christianity. Absolutely have to. What's up, New Edge? Good to see you. They have to go after the value systems. They have to go after anything that's sound, that makes sense, that has an anchor in reality. That's why they're messing with words and definitions and changing things. They are pulling the carpet out from as many people as they can and not giving them anywhere to land. That way they're in this limbo, so easy to be taken control of and manipulated and steered in the direction in which they want to steer them in. And these will be the people that they need in Satan's army. These will be the first ones. And then there's going to be another generation. And that generation is going to be more of a transhuman generation. And when we get to that point, so why am I even bothering? Right? Dustin, if we're doomed, like you say, if this ship's going to play out one way or the other, then what's the point? Your soul. Yeah, I'm not trying to wake anybody up to save the day anymore. That day's gone. I tried. Didn't do any good. But where I'm going to be going, what I'm going to be trying to do, is going to try to be getting you guys to wake up as many people in a different way. And it'll come naturally for a lot of you. You were born for this. You might be like, nah, I don't. It's not what I. No. Trust me. But we got a lot of ground to cover before we get to that day. I think I'm going to wrap it up. Is there anything you guys want to talk about before I go? A threat to democracy and Christian faith inside the far-right embrace of Christian nationalism. All they did was take the term Christian and added nationalism to it because nothing has changed. Christianity, have you read the Bible? Christianity is Christian nationalism. So, this doesn't stop here. It goes like, look at this. Religious leaders signed declaration denouncing religious nationalism, promoting progressive causes. What do you suppose You mean the LGBT preachers standing in front of you mean the mega churches telling that if you buy your way to heaven? What the progressive causes? No, Christian nationalism is Christianity, and it's the true Christianity. It's taking pride in your family, yourself, of course God, of course Jesus, and your country. and doing everything you can to raise it and keep the evil out of all of those things that I had mentioned. When they attack that, when they attack, and we've been seeing it, of course, but it's like everything else being turned to 11. A group of Christian clergy, theologians, and scholars who took part in the inaugural conference of Yale Divinity School's Center of Public Theology and Policy this week signed a declaration denouncing so-called religious nationalism. In a document titled The New Haven Declaration of Moral and Spiritual Issues in 2024 Presidential Election, the group of self-described religious leaders also pledged to devote themselves to promulgating progressive causes and warned that traditional values are being politically weaponized by pieces of shit like yourself. You're the political weapon. And the sad part is, these pieces of shit don't even realize it. They're being, somebody shoved their hand so far up their ass, they're moving their mouth, and they're saying exactly what it is that they are supposed to say. Do you blame them? I mean, should we judge? Is it their fault? Should they be more aware? This is one of the things that I have trouble with. Because forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Versus like, these motherfuckers should be well aware by now. That's why I'm here. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I hope you all have a good night. Good day tomorrow. Good week. Good month. Year, decade, century, millennium. Much love. God bless. Peace.